Welcome in, everybody. It's the coach, and you're tuned in to Madden 19 on EA Sports. Straight ahead, Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks face off against Jimmy Garoppolo and the San Francisco 49ers. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. We'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
We're about 40 miles south of Candlestick Point as we welcome you inside Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara. The scene a short time ago, this crowd, they love their 49ers, and they were in full roar as their guys burst out of the locker room. And we're ready for football as the 49ers get set to do battle with the Seattle Seahawks. Hi again, everyone. Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. And, Charles, you take a look at these 49ers as they enter play here. They come off a disappointment last time out that put an end to their modest 3-game win streak. Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Seahawks, they come in the midst of a pretty bad stretch here, losers of 5 straight.
So many different reasons teams hit the losing skids, but the best way out of it, something has to happen positive early in the game.
It's the final 3 weeks of the season. Still plenty to play for here as we're underway in Week 15. This fielded at the 2. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. So out come the Seahawks now for their first possession. They'll be led out by the man who proclaims to be from a whole pack of Badgers. Came into the league back in 2012, Russell Wilson.
He had the numbers of a game last week that if you win, you talk about him being a gritty guy, managing the game, getting it done. But they lost. So obviously 2 interceptions, 1 touchdown pass, that's not going to be good enough. Got to get that changed around.
Now a play fake here on first down. And the catch is made here by Tyler Lockett. And they work this well upfield across the 45. That one goes for 24 yards. A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. Now a man who played collegiately here in the Golden State, Rashad Penny. And he got blown up. Losing yardage on the play back at the 44.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. And what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
And he'll do a nice job here just to fight his way back to the line of scrimmage. Maybe a gain of a yard that time, but yeah, from the spot, actually no gain. So 3rd and long. And we take a look at the offense for the Seahawks.
And wide receiver Tyler Lockett continues to improve as a route runner and a playmaker downfield. But let's not forget, his main use, kick returner. Knows how to break open a game in that area as well.
On 3rd down, Wilson. And it's hauled in by Ed Dixon. And he'll take it down shy of the 45 at the 46. And they'll get 10 there, but it leaves them just short for 4th down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
So here's the first drive now for the 49ers. They'll be led out by their quarterback standing at 6'2" from Eastern Illinois. It's Jimmy Garoppolo.
And no excitement unless you're on the defensive team of last week in his numbers, because the only excitement he really generated was the 1 interception he threw.
Yeah, no touchdown passes.
Yeah, and his team wasn't real thrilled about that. And they lost the game. So I know this week has been tough on him because he's been working hard. Fundamentals, footwork, finding the right targets, and bottom line, how do they get a win?
Now here's the first carry for Amir Abdullah. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there. Second down. And the starting crew now for San Francisco.
And wide receiver Marquise Goodwin showed in 2017 he's more than just an Olympic long jumper. Showed more facets to his game. Not just a long ball threat either. Could catch it underneath. Nearly 1,000 yards in receiving. And had more catches last season than in his 4 years combined in Buffalo.
Number 20.
On second down, here's Garoppolo. A dump off for Abdullah. And a great move on the play as he takes this one past the 25. 7 yards on the play, and they're going to face a third down.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start, getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
Good defense holds him to only a yard, and it'll be fourth down.
Well, we hear so often how tackling has become almost a lost art in the NFL game. But it's so important to tackle well on these receivers, especially in a play like this one. Third down, they gave him the underneath stuff. You got to go up and make the tackle right away.
He punted 4 times in the loss last week as he gets this one away here. Oh, look at the juke. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. Tennessee offense making their way out onto the field as you take a look at the playoff race in the AFC. And it's right about this time of year you start to say this is when the cream rises to the top. Week 15, 3 weeks left to go, but still plenty to be determined.
And I think for most teams, the obvious is to try and be the number 1 or number 2 seed. But when you look at it across the league and throughout the history of trying to get to the Super Bowl, the teams you really fear are the ones that get hot and sometimes sneak in at a 5 or a 6 seed, because we've seen those teams actually get to the Super Bowl and occasionally win it.
Yeah, you think of the Giants a couple of times. Steelers have done it. You're right. It has happened and will happen more in the future, I'm sure. And this defensive line will be looking to control the point of attack.
And that's what they've done throughout this season. This is a terrific unit. They play together very, very well, and they don't permit big plays to happen.
The former Gamecock here. This is Mike Davis. And 3 yards there takes him to the 45.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
And on third down, a nickel formation here defensively. Davis, they'll try to run for it. And they went the wrong way there. Losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
The 49er offense, they're coming back out onto the field, and we're going to give you a look at the playoff picture now into the weekend in the NFC. And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag. Punts on back-to-back drives.
And old-school coaches don't necessarily mind that. Didn't turn it over, right? Didn't create a big play for the other team. Right now, what you're looking for is, can you gain an advantage in field position? And that's what both teams are seeing.
Pressure comes. He's taken down by the Seahawk defense. Frank Clark in there to get him, and that's sack number 12 for him on the year.
I know there'll be a little bit of criticism there because they went right back to the air after the huge pickup and ended up getting sacked. That's often a play that you make. You feel like you've got momentum on your side.
Unfortunately, the O-line failed to hold up to try to keep that momentum going. Now, meanwhile, here's a second down throw that's knocked away and incomplete. The Seahawks, here's their defensive lineup.
And free safety Earl Thomas has a list of accomplishments as long as anyone's arm. But the thing I think about with him at all times, no matter what happens in front of him on the defensive end of the ball, He's back there to erase any mistakes that happen. The top guy in the league, as far as I'm concerned, in that category.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. From the gun, it's Garoppolo. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete. And this passing game's whole offense really didn't show up in the loss last week, and it hasn't started all that great here either.
Yeah, and they can't let that incompletion become an uh-oh moment. Like, oh boy, here we go again, just like last week. Each game is its own entity, treated as such.
Here's Bradley Pinion now, as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. His first punt, 45 yards. This looks good as well. Returnable for Lockett. Shifts past him at the 45. Well, he wasn't too far from breaking that. Officially, give him 15. And the Seahawks will have great field position to start this drive. They take over on the short side of the field. The Seahawks offense now, they get ready to head back onto the field. You know, Charles, season winding down, time to maybe look ahead to the offseason. What do you see these guys going after either in the draft or free agency?
Well, with the season that they're having, just about every position is up for grabs right now. No one is really safe, but the focal point's always the quarterback position. And he may be auditioning to try and stay with his own current team. I think he's auditioning for the rest of the league to try and find a spot because I think this team is looking for a new quarterback.
Now here's a pass on first down that's knocked away and incomplete.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on first down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on first down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock that one away and bring up second down.
Ball on the 42 as they come up 2nd and 10. Now some movement before the snap. And we'll hear from our referee for the first time this afternoon.
False start, offense.
So that'll back him up 5.
Still second down.
So after the penalty, heading in the wrong direction, 2nd and 15. Out of the gun, here's Wilson. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And he'll get it down on the play to the 37. They'll wind up getting 10 back there as it'll leave them with a 3rd and 5.
In so many ways, throwing the hitch route is actually one of the safer things an offense can do. Get the ball out to the receiver as fast as possible, hope he's got man-to-man coverage, and hope that his athleticism wins on the perimeter.
From the gun on 3rd down, Wilson. And he's got Lockett. And they're able to get this one past the 30 to the 25-yard line. Wilson to Lockett there for the Seahawk first down.
And Brandon, from our time in college football, where receivers weren't running the traditional NFL route tree.
Davis fighting. He loses the football. And this is going to be 49er football. Often on fumbles, you look at the guy who coughed it up and say, geez, what did he do? But, hey, let's tip the cap to the defense here.
Not a problem at all, my man. I'm not even going to tip it. I'm going to doff my cap to him. Congratulations. Big-time play. Knocking it free and creating something good for your team.
Out on the field now, here come the 49ers. This is their 3rd drive. Right now, maybe not about points, just about getting something. They haven't gotten a first down yet in this game.
It's a mental barrier you don't think about until you go a couple of drives without getting a first down. Then all of a sudden it looms big. It gets harder and harder to actually attain that first down.
After the fumble recovery, it's Garoppolo. He goes underneath to Abdullah. Avoids him at the 40. First down yardage on the first play of the drive. Give him 14. Just the first quarter, but tackling going to be so important going forward. They've got to limit plays like that.
And that's something when you see it happen early in the game and they don't get him on the ground, you can always tell that they were concerned about it going in. Because I can just tell you from my days, I remember being in college and worrying all off-season about our season open opponent, and they had a receiver that could shake and bake with the best of them. I tackled him on the first pass of the game, and the relief was incredible. Ended up having a pretty decent ball game. But if I'd missed him, it would have been a different story. Long night.
Earl Thomas in on the stop.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Eluding the pressure right. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And he's able to get it back to right around the 27. A little careless with the football, and he also had a fumble loss last week, didn't he?
He certainly did, and when I'm watching him play, the one thing that comes to mind is always remember, traffic, turbulence, people around you, two hands. Get two hands on the ball. Grip it tight. I know it looks cool to have it in one hand. Put it away, tuck it away, because you've got to take care of the ball.
Here come the Seahawks now, set to take over on offense. And they got across the 50 last time, but fumbled and turned it over, so they'll be looking to have a short-term memory here, Mr. Davis.
Not only a short-term memory, but a whole lot better ball security. Because if they take care of the ball, continue to move it, their chances of scoring some points, they got to feel pretty good about. They thought they had things moving in the right direction last time. Fumbles, they don't just affect you on offense, they affect your overall team because now your defense has to make that stand up.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. They keep it on the ground. This time it's Penny. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. The tackle by Eric Armstead. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle. That's what we saw right there.
Yeah, that's what their job is. And really, a lot of the time, they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold them to no gain.
So a turnover-filled first quarter of play comes to an end. 0-0 our score. We're back to Santa Clara after this.
The NFL on EA Sports is presented by Snickers. You're not you and you're hungry. Snickers satisfies.
Alongside my broadcast partner Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin hits the Seahawks with a football to begin quarter number 2. And they've got it here with a first down. Wilson. Try to drop one in, but it's incomplete.
When you got your backs in the shadow of your goal line, you've got to be physical in that situation because there's not a whole lot of space, not a lot of wild plays that can be run there.
It's put up or shut up time. Defensively, nice job just to make sure they didn't complete it on that play. They'll go again from the 3 here on 2nd and goal. They'll try to punch it into Davis. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that is going to set up 3rd and goal. From the gun, it's Wilson. And it's caught. And he will score. Touchdown, Seattle. Will Dissly, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Seahawks are able to strike for 6.
It's not a great revelation to say that it's going to take a lot to replace what Jimmy Graham gave this club from the tight end position, especially in the red zone. But that had to be an encouraging sight for Russell Wilson right there as he finds one of his replacements for the touchdown.
Sebastian Janikowski on for the PAT. Janikowski good with the extra point, and that makes the score 7-0. So the drive there took 6 plays, and it all culminates with a Seattle score. Out to kick is Janikowski. Here's Dante Pettis on the return. And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. And San Francisco gets set to go here. And they had the fumble last time that led to a touchdown. That's a no-no. We'll see what they do here this go-around.
A big no-no. Put that in capital letters. Turning it over, the other team takes it down and scores. That can be a deflator for a football team. Now it's up to the offense to get back out on the field and pick things up.
Well, they're out there. We'll see if they can pick those things back up. And he was hit as he threw it there, and it forces it incomplete.
Nothing open downfield, and he had to get that one out in a hurry because he just knew he was about to take a big shot. Probably couldn't get his legs into the throw. Became an all-arm throw trying to check it down to his running back. Incomplete.
Dancing to his left. And it's incomplete. So he's 3 for 7 throwing the football right now. Not an awful start, but also not the sharpest of starts.
No, I would agree with that. But if you're a confident quarterback and to play that position you have to be, you just act like there's something wrong with the wind currents or something.
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And the Seahawks have recovered. He already had the 1 fumble loss, so now 2 fumbles lost here in this first half.
Not setting the pace the way that you want it done. I mean, here in the first half, already twice the ball's come out and hit the turf. Got to find a way to take care of it. Otherwise, they may have to start thinking about maybe someone different at that position.
Penny, the first down carry. And they'll lose yardage here. Knocked back to the 19-yard line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
They keep it on the ground. This time it's Davis. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Holding offense.
That hold coming from the middle of the line, the center.
And it's difficult for him because sometimes you've got people right over you, and as soon as you snap it, trying to get your hands up and block them, you can be a little bit late getting it done.
They'll come up now on a 2nd and long after the hold. To throw is Wilson. And his throw here is incomplete.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long. Play action. It's Wilson. And some space here. And he is out of bounds inside the 30. Give him 3 on the play, and that'll bring up 4th down. Sebastian Janikowski to try the Seahawks field goal. On the right hash, it's a 43-yard attempt. And Janikowski bangs it through, and the lead moves to 10-zip. So they recovered the fumble, but ultimately could not take advantage of the short field.
Definitely a lost opportunity right there. I mean, they were in prime position to put 6 on the board, ended up settling for 3.
This one fielded at the 5. Then he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. The 49er offense, they're coming back out onto the field, and we're going to give you a look at the playoff picture now into the weekend in the NFC. Garoppolo going to bring the Niners up here 1st and 10. And last time they coughed it up, led to a field goal. They're fortunate that it only led to a field goal, but still, they're not happy about it.
Could you sense the relief, though, when they only gave up the field goal? And they were able to trot back out on the field and start this drive. A little more pep in their step because they didn't cost their team a touchdown. But they know they've got to do it a lot better than they did on the last possession.
The coach will just be relieved, though, if they recoup with a score here, right?
I think the coach would be ecstatic to see them pick themselves back up and now take it downfield and punch in the end zone without turning it over.
Room here to run. 12 yards there as they move the chains.
We don't talk about it very often, but sometimes there's a dip in intensity when you start the second half, which can manifest itself in some sloppy tackling. And how about right there? He ran right through that weak tackle attempt.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. They go back to Abdullah on first. Takes to midfield, but no further. Just a yard there.
Nice job by that defensive front there to hold him to a short gain on first down. Well played, I must say.
Yeah, only getting 1 yard. There was no room to run.
Here we go.
From midfield, here's Garoppolo. Oh, he shifts past him. And Selleck here, left side. Some extra space following the display of power. Down just inside the 45. The reception good for 7. It's third down.
Let's just break this down and make it pretty simple. Key to the drag route, letting the play develop, finding the hole in the defense, and giving your athlete, yes, athlete, a chance to make something happen once he has the ball in his hands.
Here we go.
Garoppolo looking to throw on 3rd and 2. Open man is Pettis. It's complete. And he's going to have the first down, yardage to the 35. Now after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. While the training staff takes a peek, we'll take a break. Garoppolo, 6 of 10 in this first half. He's got his guys a first down here. They fake the give. Now Garoppolo looks to throw. He completes it to Abdullah. And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. It's an 8-yard pickup, and it'll make it second down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
A second down run for Abdullah. And they'll be inside the 25 now at the 24. Give him 3 yards and a fresh set of downs.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. They go play action here on first down. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete. The linebacker, Bobby Wagner, able to get back in coverage and knock it free.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
Now Garoppolo, and the hit jarred loose. It's incomplete. Seems like this defense, especially the secondary, has really been contesting about every throw in this first half.
Remind me of a good half-court defensive basketball team. Every time a pass is thrown, they're right there in good defensive position, able to affect the play.
Throwing is Garoppolo on 3rd down. Escaping the pressure right. He may try and run for this. And they'll work it inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done. Nothing open downfield. He keeps it himself for 11 and a first down.
Someone knew exactly where he needed to get to pick up that first down now. I'm not so sure about the technique in getting there, but he went for it, and he got it.
Exactly. He knew where he needed to get, because remember, if he slides, when that derriere dips, if you will, that play's over.
The derriere dips, I like that one.
Yeah, been working on it for a little bit. And he's going to take it in. Touchdown, San Francisco. George Kittle, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the 49ers are back within a score. Boy, it's nice to have that big, reliable target you can go to.
Each and every time. A lot of people see that position as a fallback. Throw it to them when all else fails. Not at all. This guy can make plays, and that's exactly what he just did.
Yeah, play here for a touchdown. Robbie Gould on for the extra point. Gould with the extra point, and that'll cut it to 3 at 10-7. So that one a long 11-play drive, and it's polished off by a touchdown for San Francisco. Gould now out to kick it away. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Seahawks offense now, they get ready to come back onto the field. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense. Run what you do best. Exactly. Put it all the way down and try to increase your lead in a big way. And the best way to do it, touchdowns.
And the first play of the drive there is incomplete.
Sometimes the coverage is so good, no matter what you're doing on offense, you just can't shake anyone free. They try their best to find someone open, but they took away every passing alley, every angle, and shut the play down.
On second down, here's Penny. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. Give him 12 yards on that one. It earns him a fresh set of downs.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another first down with that run.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Now we've got whistles and movement up front. I think this is against Seattle.
False start, offense.
That's going to set him back 5 yards.
Still first down.
A false start backs him up 5. 1st and 15. From the shotgun, Wilson. He's got the tight end, Vanette. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down.
Holding, offense.
So a decent gain,
Still first
but all
down.
for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
Now it's Wilson. And this will be incomplete.
I think he's a little trigger happy right there, and it turned into an ill-advised throw into their zone.
Well, we know he has confidence. He'll throw it any place, anytime, anywhere. That time it fell incomplete. So they'll come up after the incompletion for 2nd down. From the gun, Wilson. A dump off for Davis. And they'll bring him down at the 27-yard line. 6 yards on the pickup, and they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
Sorry, we get slap happy up here sometimes. The Seahawks on third down. They've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This will be 3rd and 19. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to be brought down by the face mask. Here come the flags. This is going to get him a first down.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense.
So that flag will cost him 15.
And it doesn't matter anymore how you get the face mask. Any part of it, that's going to be 15 yards.
So the face mask, quite a blessing there as they'll start out of harm's way with a 1st and 10. Wilson operating from the gun. It's complete to Lockett. And he is in for the Seattle touchdown. Russell Wilson with 2 first-half touchdown passes. And the Seahawks add on to their lead. And correct me if I'm wrong, that was just a simple fly route, wasn't it?
No, there's nothing to correct at all. You've got it down pat. And I just remember as a player, when I'd be in practice sessions and I'd hear 9 from the receivers, that meant fly route, go, look out. That was the 9, and he just kept going all the way into the end zone for the touchdown.
Janikowski adds the extra point, and the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. 5 plays there on that drive, and the Seahawks capping it off with a touchdown. Out to kick is Janikowski. Set to return. Here's Raheem Mostert. Solid return. Pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. Amir Abdullah gearing up now to lead this offense. He's been good. They've utilized him well, but they're losing here in the second quarter. What might they change offensively?
I think that what you try and do is expand how you get the ball to him a little bit. Get him out in open space, maybe swing the ball to him. What's that they used to call it in the West Coast offense, the long handoff? Yeah. Serve as your running play that way, as well as continue to feed him the football. Some of these runs now may pop bigger later in the game because of the effects of running it. Sometimes people, after a while, they don't want to tackle him anymore, or they get tired, or they get out of position, or he runs through tackles. Continue to feed him the ball. He's having that kind of game.
Yeah, might they get him the ball in some space in some different ways here. It's complete. Abdullah. And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45. 5 yards is the pickup there as that extends this drive.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
Garoppolo now. 9 of 15 throwing the ball, 60%, and it's 1st and 10.
12.
Working from the gun, Garoppolo. The tight end Kittle has it on the left side, and he's got this down to the 35. He goes for 18 there as the drive will continue. Garoppolo on 1st down. And too much juice. It'll be out of bounds, incomplete. The intended receiver, Marquise Goodwin. And that'll bring up 2nd down.
But one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown him a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after him. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard. Garoppolo to try again on 2nd down. Airing it deep for Garcon. And it's intercepted. Shaquille Griffin with a pick. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Oh, man, Brandon, not a real good throw that time. It looked like he tried to put a little too much air under this one, and it turned into a floater. And defensively, this is a dream. He could have fair caught that one. That was way too easy.
Here's Russell Wilson and the Seahawk offense now getting set to go again. And he's been good. 2 first-half touchdown passes, no interceptions so far.
Does a lot for your confidence. Does a great deal for your team.
False start.
Gives
Offense.
them a lead, and they're feeling really good about how they're playing. I think he expects to throw at least another one.
I was going to say, now he wants the first-half hat trick, doesn't he?
Oh, without a doubt. Go ahead and fling him on the field, folks. He wants that type of celebration.
And here is motion again, and that's going to be 2 in a row.
False start. Offense.
Nabbed that one on Dwayne Brown, first-round pick back in 2008. After the penalty, it's Penny. Oh, and he's not going to make it out of the end zone. The push too strong, and that'll be a safety. And you know, the man who sat in my chair the last few years, he has a theory. These plays, these safeties, they're so rare. Maybe they should be worth more than 2, maybe 4 points.
I think he's got a great point. I really do, Brandon. But I would go ahead and up it to 6. I'm a former defender.
Oh.
To me, that's like scoring a touchdown.
Easy now. I'll go 4. I don't know about 6.
Come on, come on. Come up to 6.
A lot of points. And remember, following the safety, you give the football up as well, and they free kick it from the 20 now.
Free kick out of bounds. Kicking team.
So they will accept the penalty and move forward. Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10. Play action. Garoppolo. Throw left side, caught by Goodwin. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. And now we won't see a play on 1st down. We're going to get a timeout instead as they stop it with 28 seconds to go in the first half of play. On 1st down, Garoppolo. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. A shotgun snap for Garoppolo. And he comes back with one complete. And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25. And now before this 1st down play, we're going to get a timeout here, as the clock will stop with 18 seconds to go in the first half. So the offense takes the timeout, and they are back out and ready to rock. Throwing on 1st is Garoppolo. Being chased out left, and he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense as they stop it with 11 seconds remaining in this first half. So 2nd and long, and got to be careful not to fall out of field goal range. From the gun, it's Garoppolo. Oh, a battle for it here, and this will be caught. And he'll go out of bounds inside the 15-yard line.
Holding. Offense.
Well, your QB's been sacked 4 times in the game already, and they're the holding call.
And you know darn well the offensive line coach is frustrated and upset that he's been hit that many times already. He doesn't really care that they hold now. Just don't let him get hit anymore.
Here we go. Black 80!
Garoppolo to throw on second down. And this will be incomplete. 1 second left to go. Garrett Selleck, the tight end, was the target. And that'll make it third down. So with 1 second left in the half, on is the field goal unit. This will approach NFL record territory. It's a 62-yard attempt. And that one's not going to get there. Not enough juice. An ambitious effort, but it's well short. So we've come upon halftime with the visiting Seahawks. They're out in front. As we'll send you eastward to Orlando. Standing by with that EA Sports halftime report now is Jonathan Coachman. Take it away, Coach.
Okay, Brandon, time for a sprint to the finish, as it's time to get you caught up with what's happening around the NFL here in a pivotal Week 15. We'll start up at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey, where it was the visiting Texans who were able to come away with the road victory. Deshaun Watson, 2 touchdown passes as his guys remain unbeaten. From there, let's get down to Baltimore to check in on the Ravens at home at M&T Bank Stadium. And they were losers in that one to the visiting Tampa Bay Bucks. Jameis Winston, 2 touchdown passes as his guys remain unbeaten. Lastly, let's head up to the Twin Cities to check in on the Vikings at home in Minneapolis. And they were winners in that one over the visiting Miami Dolphins. Kirk Cousins, strong in the victory, as his guys managed to cobble together their 3rd win in an otherwise dismal campaign. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a back-and-forth first half. Who can put it together in the second half? For the answer, we turn it back over to our broadcast team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Okay, Coach, appreciate it. A 1-touchdown game here as we get set to resume play in the second half. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. Here comes the 49ers offensive unit as they'll have it first to begin this third quarter. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at intermission?
Typically, what they're doing is emphasizing the things that went well in the first half and wanting more of that. Sure, you've got to go over some of the errors and clean up some things because there's a reason you're down. But overall, I think they want to stay positive, stay up with this team. We're just starting the second half, and we've got the football. Let's go ahead and punch it in, and then we'll take it from there.
See how that recipe works. And once again, they'll go from the 23-yard line on 2nd and 10.
Here we go. Ready? 2.
A handoff to Abdullah. They find some open field here. There's the flash of Abdullah. Jukes by again. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A big run there, 29 yards and a first.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
So from Seahawk territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line.
Here we go. Ready?
On play action, now Garoppolo. Throw left side complete. That's Goodwin. He's going to go out of bounds, but he takes this one down just shy of the 20. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route. The drag and being able to run away from defenders, hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or?
Better against man, because now you're running away from someone and you're not running into a defensive player in another zone.
Garoppolo now, first down throw. Flushed out right. And he slides to avoid the hit. Nice work to get 7 out of that, and it's 2nd down.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the third one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
Here we go.
Now Garoppolo throwing on second. Man open, it's Goodwin. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. Garoppolo to Goodwin there for a 49er first.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
2 of their 3 red zone trips so far, they've come up empty on. They'll look to reverse that trend on 2nd and goal.
Hey, 20, 180. Flag. 2.
They'll try to run it in with Abdullah. Oh, now he bowls him over. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. A good run of 6 yards there. Gets him closer to the goal line with 2nd down coming up. They're mounting a nice drive here. Good chunk of yardage there again. O-line, they've been solid this drive.
They have that look about them right now
21.
that says, if you do anything but run the ball behind us, you're crazy. They have really moved it well on this drive, and they want to finish it off the same way.
Forced out to his left. And they will score. It's a 49er touchdown. Jimmy Garoppolo, his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the 49ers move back within a couple of the lead. So a quarterback scramble, certainly a pass play, but he saw something, tucked it, and got in the end zone.
A lot of quarterbacks, when they scramble, they're scrambling to create more time to throw the ball downfield. In this situation, as you noted, he tucked it and took off. Great play by him.
6. 180. 11.
Garoppolo looks to throw. Goes right side. And he's got it. So they went ahead and went for 2 to tie the game, and it works out. Still time to work with on the clock, but they wanted to tie now, and they got it.
And I love their aggressiveness. Go ahead and get it done, get the game tied. Now your team has the momentum, and you're staring across the field saying, let's see if you can match us.
So a tie ball game here as the kick's away. This fielded at the 2. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. Here comes the Seahawks offensive unit. They'll have it first to begin the 3rd. First half showed us some pretty good offense. Tie game, we'll see what the second half brings.
And it'll be interesting because I think both sides feel pretty good about what their offenses are doing. Got to wonder what adjustments are being made defensively to try and get a spark and maybe slow down the other side.
But here, do you change up anything on this opening drive?
Not offensively, you don't. You got everything going your way. You've probably prepared for maybe some change-ups you might expect, but overall, you like what your game plan's showing you.
One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. Now a play fake here on 1st down. Blitz coming, and down he goes. The former Seahawk and former Super Bowl MVP, Malcolm Smith. Leading the surge there, he drops him for a loss of 6. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. 0 accountability, and a sack resulted.
Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe it'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
And Davis with it left side. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. 14 yards is the pickup there, but it'll still lead to a 4th down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high-percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the 1st down. In this case, it didn't happen.
And San Francisco gets set to go here. The last possession, these guys were able to tie the game with a touchdown, and now they'll have a chance to move out in front.
Yeah, let's give a big assist to the defense who got the ball back. The special teams went out there, handled things. They've got it. They've got momentum. I know they're eager to get out there and put it on display.
They start the drive with Abdullah. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. Give him 13 yards on the opening play of the drive and also give him a 1st down.
Clark, I remember a coaching friend of mine used to tell his running backs before games, make sure you run and jog with your offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking when those big behemoths start to create space for you up front. He did a pretty good job of just following those guys through there for a nice explosive run.
Here's Garoppolo on 1st and 10. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. A gain of 6 there on 1st. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he was unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
On play action, it's Garoppolo. And the Seahawks defense gets to him, and they bring him down.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
11.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. And this is going to be incomplete. The linebacker, Bobby Wagner, able to get back in coverage and knock it free.
All right, let's go ahead and try and get into the body and the mind of the linebackers. Yeah, I know they're bigger and stronger than I ever was, but in this situation, they understood what was going on as much as the offensive guys, because the offensive guys are always taught, find the 1st down sticks and make the play. Well, on defense, what do you want to do? Guard the 1st down line. Make sure they don't get there and tackle them in front. They were able to drop in their zone coverage, figure out where the 1st down line was, and end up making the play, swatting it away so they couldn't get the completion.
The Seattle now ready to march onto the field. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
An ideal beginning of the drive there as they'll get 20 and a 1st down. One play has them up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. Throwing now, Wilson on 1st down. And his throw's going to be incomplete. The intended target done Baldwin, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
Let's give some credit to the defensive guys on that play. Able to bat that one away. Sure looked like they were trying to hit the corner route.
Here now is 2nd and 10, again from the 41. Second and 10 now, Wilson. And Dixon over the middle. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down.
When you execute a drag or a crossing route really well and give them a chance to let it develop a little bit, you can gain some significant yardage hitting your tight end on that one.
The 2nd down completion got him 7. Now here's 3rd and 3. Wilson will throw again. And he's got a man open. That's Marshall. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. A pickup of 24 on the third down conversion.
I'm sorry, but it's almost unfair. Brandon Marshall can make so many plays, but even when you think he's covered,
he's not.
No, he's really not. He uncovers and makes a play on you and picks up good yardage in doing so.
Meanwhile, this one knocked down in the backfield. It's incomplete. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be second down. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. A handoff to Penny. And he'll take this down just shy of the 25-yard line. The tackle there by Richard Sherman.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
Play action. Now Wilson. And he's going to lose yardage here, as they will switch ends as time is run out on this third quarter of play. And that is going to do it for this third quarter of action. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now here in Santa Clara. All even as we get ready to start the fourth. So here we go. Maybe the biggest kick of the game forthcoming. This to break our fourth quarter tie. And his kick is good. Didn't hit it all that well, but he got enough on it to put it through. And with that, they take the lead here 20-17. So the drive here ends with a field goal. It does give them the lead, but this one's still certainly a long ways from over.
It definitely puts a lot of pressure on your defense to hold the lead, right? They're happy to have it and happy to be out there trying to do so. But I know as a former player, in the back of their mind, they're thinking, why don't you score the touchdown and seal this thing?
The 49er offense, they're coming back out onto the field, and we're going to give you a look at the playoff picture now into the weekend in the NFC. And hoping to do better than they did their last possession when they punted the football.
Appeal to the vanity of your offensive line. Tell them that they control your fate. Leverage guys. Win the line of scrimmage. If you do that, you start to win first down. You win second down. And guess what? You start accumulating first downs. And that's what they need in order to not pump the ball again.
A dump off for Abdullah. They'll give him 8 on the play, and it'll be a second down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. Give them 11 yards that time and a new set of downs.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run, got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
So up through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now. Here's Garoppolo to throw. He completes it to Abdullah. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down.
On any given pass play, you never know exactly where your exit points are going to be. On this play, he was flushed to his left, still on the run, able to accurately throw the football for a nice first down.
Here we go, hurry up, hurry up! 13.
Throwing now is Garoppolo. Throwing middle, but it's incomplete. Pierre Garçon, the intended receiver, and it's second down.
The frustration is definitely setting in because they've thrown it to him over and over, unable to come up with a catch thus far.
I think he knew he would have his challenges against his secondary. I don't think he saw a goose egg at this point in the game. Now the Georgia Southern man, it's Matt Breida, and he's going to get stopped up quickly. Give him a yard down to the 43.
That didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just darted in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
The Niners on third down, 2 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 9.
By 20! 20! 11! 11!
Working from the gun, Garoppolo. Open man is Taylor. He's got it. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. His first catch, and it's a pretty big one. They get the conversion on third down. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
On first down, Abdullah. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. It was Jaron Reed who got him down.
Well, that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short gain.
Black 80! By 20! Here we go, hurry up! Hurry up!
They fake the give. Now Garoppolo looks to throw. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
There's definitely contact there, but it's the fourth quarter of a kind of tight game, and sometimes the officials just say, let them play. Kind of like your mom used to, you and your brothers, just take the broom to you and send you out to the backyard and tell you to settle it yourselves.
I like that, yeah. There was contact. I don't know, like you said, enough to warrant the flag. It was close, though.
12!
Throwing is Garoppolo on third down. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. But he will have the first down before he's tackled at the 12. Now after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. Well, he gets attended to. We'll step aside. We saw a number of good games earlier today. This one might top all of those. It's been a dandy as we come up on 1st and 10.
21!
Back to the ground now. Here's Abdullah. And able to get him inside the 5 here, just inside the 5 to about the 4. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's maybe going to get this back to the 4, but that's about all. Call it no gain that time as it's going to leave him with a 3rd and about 3 to go. The Niners on third down. They've hit 4 of 7. This time it's 3rd and 3. Garoppolo. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Read it well, and it's picked. And they'll have the football, but deep in their own territory as he's brought down at the 5.
I'm not sure, Brandon, we've seen a sloppier played game this year for a team on offense. Turn it over 4 times and expect to win? No chance whatsoever. And look, I have no idea what the ratio is about turnover 4 times and how that correlates to winning or losing, but I'll guarantee you, it's not very good.
As Seattle now ready to march onto the field. They're holding on right now to that slim advantage in a 1-score game, and you hear a lot about 2-minute offense and 4-minute offense. Obviously, the 4-minute offense applies here. How do they run that effectively?
Yeah, really what the 4-minute offense is you're just trying to grind the clock. So you want consistent gains, steady gains. Doesn't have to be big plays, but it has to be plays that gets first downs and keeps the ball away from your opponent.
But certainly throwing the ball is in the mix here.
It certainly is. Just make sure you're careful with it. And again, get those first downs, keep possession of the football.
And he'll find a little space. He gets us up near the 10.
Brandon, you know how many times we've done games, and at the start of the fourth quarter, we see both teams hold up the 4 fingers, fourth quarter is ours. Well, how about this drive? You saw the 4 fingers for 4-minute offense. and this offensive line has really hunkered down and established themselves.
Now, this is where they say, put the game on our shoulders, we'll lead the way, right?
No doubt about it. And let me tell you, if you're a running back, all you want to do is get behind those big fellas, have a little vision, and find some space.
And a solid way to do that on the first play of the drive there. One of the bigger plays in the game thus far, and the crowd getting into it as we come up on a big third down. From the gun, it's Wilson. And Marshall's got it. And he'll have the first down as he's up to about the 18. 8 yards on the pickup there, and it moves the sticks. Wilson now a perfect 8 for 8 to start the second half. Not bad. 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And they'll blow that one up back at the 16-yard line. And now the 49ers signal for a timeout defensively. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the 4th quarter. Now Wilson on 2nd down. Throws left side, complete to Brandon Marshall. And he'll be about a full yard shy of the 20 at the 19-yard line. And the 49ers going to take another timeout. That's going to be their second. They'll be left with one more plus the 2-minute warning. And we'll be back. And now following that timeout, the defense back out onto the field. The Seahawks on 3rd down. They've converted 6 times and could use a 7th here. This is 3rd and 8. They go play action with Wilson. He lets it fly for Lockett. Well, this is taken in. It's complete.
Holding offense.
Now, that's one they hate. The ball's got to come all the way back.
So that's an explosive play, a really explosive play that gets wiped out, and they have to start over after the penalty.
3rd and long. It's Wilson. And that is incomplete.
Well, we're not playing 3 yards in a cloud of dust football anymore. I kind of get why those old school coaches sometimes didn't want to throw the football. Because if it's popped up in the air, it almost turns into slow motion, and both sides trying to get to the football, and you're holding your breath wondering whether it's going to go good or bad for your team.
And San Francisco gets set to go here. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. Of course, they'd like to forget the inning, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
There they begin the drive with Abdullah. And now they're going to get him down right at the line of scrimmage. In on the stop, Bradley McDougald. The rush defense stout on 1st down. Here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. Garoppolo to throw on 2nd down. Over the middle to Kittle, complete. And he is down deep into Seattle territory. Time for a break. We'll come back for the electrifying conclusion after this. It's 49er football here as we get you reset. They've got a 1st down in field goal range already. Only way to get the lead here, of course, with a touchdown. And that's what they're gunning for on 1st and goal. He's back to throw. His pass caught at the 4. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. Nice job defensively to hold him to 4, and now it's 2nd and goal. Gosh, given the time in the short game, would he have been better off just dropping that?
Yeah, when you look at the clock, you think so, but it's hard to get a receiver to drop.
Looking for Garcon. He's got him. Touchdown 49ers. Pierre Garcon, his 11th touchdown of the year. And the 49ers have moved out in front here in the 4th quarter.
Wow, I know it's a never-say-never situation, but to me, that looks like that's the one that's going to finish them off.
The score that puts them in front here late, but now you got to rally your kick team, don't you, and say the last thing we need is a big return.
And what happens is guys get overeager, get out of their lane because they're so excited they want to make the last tackle. You mess up, could come back at you a long way.
They do tack on the extra point as well, and that will make this a 4-point game. So that drive, 4 plays. And the end result for the 49ers, a touchdown. Gold now out to kick it away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Russell Wilson now gears up to lead the offense again. This is something we've seen many times over the course of his career. Can he pull off another 4th quarter comeback?
And it's very strange, isn't it? Because when it's a player of this magnitude, even though the guys on defense have the lead and are sitting in the best spot, they're maybe the most nervous people in the stadium because they've seen this happen to too many people before, too many teams. They've got to find a way to shut him down.
Here we go again for the grizzled vet. Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. These are the spots, this stage of the game, where it pays to have speed on the perimeter, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and in the 2nd quarter, he may very well run by him, but in this situation, I know as a defender, I'm loosening up a couple of extra steps that allowed him to run with him stride for stride.
Back to throw. Over the middle, and it's caught. Brandon Marshall. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. And before they can run this 3rd down play, we're going to get a timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. The last play on the completion got them half of what they needed. Now here's a tough 3rd and 5. They'll look to throw. They'll set up the screen with Davis. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. And they're able to convert on 3rd with a solid gain of 23. Back to throw. And he can't hang on to it. That would have sealed it. Instead, 2nd down. Nearly an interception. If that one's picked off, it's over. So a new lease on life, so to speak.
A lot of times when you're in coverage, you're so focused on the man and the coverage that sometimes the ball, if it arrives, it surprises you. That may have happened to him in that situation.
So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. He'll look to throw. And he comes back with one complete. And he's got this down to the 35. A nice pickup there of 11 yards, and it'll move the sticks. Throwing now is Wilson. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Marshall. Now the Seahawks call the 2nd of their 3 timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 ticks to go in the football game. Wilson to throw. This is caught, and he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down. And under 20 seconds now as the spike comes with 18 ticks remaining. And that one incomplete as it stops the clock, reading 18 seconds to go. This will be the 8th play of the drive, and it's 3rd and inches. Now here's a whistle as flags come in. And we'll check out the call.
False start, offense.
The crowd's not doing that O-line any favors.
Home field advantage is really kicking in, making it very difficult for them to hear the snap count.
This will be the 8th play of the drive, and it's 3rd and inches. Now Wilson. And he's got it. It's caught for a touchdown. And they have taken the lead here in the final seconds.
So for those of little faith, guess what? It got done. They now have the lead with that touchdown this late in the contest. I wonder if that was a play they were holding or a play that they just knew would work from past experience.
Well, I just saw it in their eyes on the sideline before starting that last drive, and they did. You're right. They got it done. Looks like they're going to be the winners. Janikowski good with the extra point, and it would appear, barring some late heroics, they're going to get out of here with a come-from-behind victory. A good drive that time as they go 9 plays in all. And it all culminates with a Seattle score. Mostert now to return. And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. Garoppolo going to bring the Niners up here 1st and 10. Garoppolo to throw. And that'll be incomplete with just 6 seconds left on the clock. This pass rush, they've been excellent all game long, and another example of it right there in the closing moment.
Not only with the pass rush, but how well they're coached, because if you don't quite get there, get to the quarterback, get your hands up into the passing lane and knock it away as we just saw there.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 35. To throw is Garoppolo. He's going to let it fly. And it's incomplete. So their final drive comes up empty. And with that, the ball game is over. Well, going into the final play of this game, they knew that they needed some type of a miracle there at the very end, but they couldn't get it done. However, we were treated to really a spectacular affair.
Even though they didn't finish it off, you're exactly right. They took us down to the last play. We're still, you're wondering, could it happen? Possibly, even though we both knew it was a long shot.
So for the Seahawks, that's now 5 wins on the campaign as they get the job done here. And they'll return home next week to take on the Kansas City Chiefs. Meanwhile, for the